All right, guys, Darren from FBA Elite, and welcome back to another video. So the unfortunate truth of the matter is that if you're considering starting an Amazon FBA business, is that the majority of Amazon FBA sellers will fail. Now, through the hundreds of people that I've mentored through FBA Elite, I have seen all different ways that people have succeeded and failed. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the most common reasons that I see for failure, so that hopefully you guys can avoid these with your own product and business. So let's go through them one at a time and I'll explain to you why it's an issue and maybe what you guys can do about it to try and avoid the same thing. So up first, and I'm going to call this one the wrong product fit. So this is the wrong product fit for the particular person. So when you start looking into Amazon FBA, you'll probably be on YouTube most of the time looking for information for the best types of products to sell. And there'll be lots of influencers telling you the exact best types of products and even giving you criteria, how many sales per month, how many reviews and stuff like that. The truth of the matter is you need to find the right product for you. So just because an influencer is talking about a great product doesn't mean it's a great product for you. And if you get that balance wrong and it's the incorrect product, you will always struggle. And the chances are you'll probably have a product you are unable to launch successfully. So if we take salt lamps as an example, and then this was a very popular FBA product a couple of years ago, and they still sell really well on Amazon. So if you've been watching a lot of the common teachings on YouTube, you'd come to this niche, you'd run your sales estimator tool, whether it's Jungle Scout or in this example, I'm using X-Ray from Helium 10. And then you'd go through the statistics and figure out whether this is a good product based on what you'd been taught on YouTube. However, what you should be doing is basing the analysis on your own criteria. So maybe you've got maybe £2,000 to spend on a product that you want to launch on Amazon, and you look at this and think, wow, this has got really good sales. The price point is, it's just about okay. Everyone looks the same, which I'll come back to later on in this video. You think you can stand out in this niche. You really want to launch a product, but it's actually the wrong fit if you've only got £2,000. So if you want to land on the first page for this product, if we exclude the sponsored ones, which is ones with SP on there, these guys are in 4-figure sales. I would say realistically, you need to be selling in the region of 700 units per month to have a decent chance of landing on this first page of results. So if you needed 700 units and you wanted to run at least 2 months of stock as your initial batch, you're probably going to be ordering 14 to 1500 units. Now, I would imagine these to be selling at this price, you're going to source them at around about, maybe if we say £5, let's be generous and say it's only £5. So if you want to source 1500 units at £5, I think that's £7,500. So straight away, that blows the budget out of the water. Now, what a lot of new sellers will do is they'll be like, oh, it's okay, I'll just order 100 or 200 of them instead because I can afford to buy that many. So if I buy 100 of these, it might only cost me £500, or if I order 200, it's only going to cost me £1,000. I can do that. But what happens is when they come to launch the product is they never make any traction because they don't have enough stock to be able to consistently sell at the sales velocity required for a consistent period. So in order to rank these at kind of 700 units per month, you're going to need to be selling around 25 units per day. You don't have enough stock to do that, and you need to do that for at least 2 to 3 weeks. So you're going to need a lot more stock to actually be able to launch the product. So it's very important you find the right product for your individual goals and your individual budget as well. So if you've only got £2,000 to spend, you want to try and find a product where you have enough money to source 2 to 3 months worth of stock within that budget, and preferably have enough money to reorder a second batch of stock as well. And often you'll be reordering that second batch before you've sold through entirely that first batch and got all of your original investment back. So make sure you get that balance right between your own budget and goals versus this product you select for your Amazon FBA business. So that is one of the first reasons I see for failure. The second reason is not checking sales consistency, or seasonality, you might prefer to call it. So I'm going to use a table runner as an example in this part of the video. Now, you might think that a table runner isn't necessarily a seasonal product. You look at these, they aren't overly exciting. But you have to remember you have Christmas. Now, I'm not saying that all seasonality is down to Christmas. Seasonality can be down to the actual season, so summer or winter. They could also be down to things such as Christmas, Halloween, fireworks night. Whatever it is, there is a chance that products on Amazon will be seasonal, and it's vital you check this. So if we take the table runners as an example, and I'm going to pop these open in X-Ray again and just run through the stats. And you can see here, at the moment, sales look quite strong. These look quite decent. So on the face of it, you might think this is a product that's worth looking into. But if we dive a bit deeper, the first thing you're going to notice is a couple of these products are actually Christmas ones. And you can see this is really clear that they're Christmas ones because one, it's in the title, but also if you look at this sales graph here, sales have gone through the floor. They were selling really well. Let me just blow this up a bit bigger. They're selling really well right up to Christmas, and then they've completely dropped off. Now, we can also see this with the actual search trend as well. So rather than looking at individual products, we can look at the overall keyword volume. So for Table Runner, if we bring up the graph and put this on a 1 year view, we can see here, consistent all year round and a massive spike in November into December, and then a drop off again in January. So it's very important whenever you're doing your analysis is you check the seasonality all year round, because if you're doing your analysis now or over the past few weeks, you might have thought that sales are a lot higher than they actually are for the rest of the year. And I do see this quite often. People have analyzed during a peak season and then they expect to be selling that well throughout the rest of the year. They order too much stock or too little stock. So it's so important you check the seasonality. So sales consistency should be key, and you always want to aim for a product that sells consistently well all year. So it's absolutely fine if this is how it sells, and then you can plan to upsell for Q4, but you shouldn't be ordering all year based on the sales that you've seen over the Christmas period or whatever holiday season or seasonal, or which season you're actually in, or if it's summer or winter. Make sure you're basing it on the all year figure. So whether you're looking at the search volume for the keyword, or if we pick one of these products that isn't Christmas related, so let's find one with a decent amount of reviews that isn't Christmas related. So for example, this one here. And if we run this back over actually this might be Christmas because this is double-sided gold and metallic. Let me try and find a different one. This one here has 926 reviews. Let's open the graph here. And you can see over the 1 year view, again, quite low sales throughout the rest of the year, picking up in November and December and then dropping off again. So make sure you do your seasonality analysis fully for any product you're considering selling, because the last thing you want to do is over order based on peak stats or under order because you don't know what's coming in Q4 or whichever holiday that you might be looking at. The next thing I want to do is bring you back to the salt lamp niche. And the reason I want to do this is this niche really emphasizes the point that I talk about again and again, is people will find a product that they think has an opportunity to do well on Amazon. They'll go through the reviews, they'll find all of the negative issues, they'll fix all of those reviews, and they think they've got a really great product. And the chances are they do have a great product. The problem is the customer doesn't know it's a great product, and they don't stand out in the niche as they look like every other product in the niche. And this salt lamp niche is an ideal way to demonstrate this, because if you scroll down, it's very hard to distinguish between these products and why you might choose one over the other. And I see this a lot. People have a great product. They've made some actually changes, but it isn't clear in their product why it's different, or it isn't clear within their listing why someone should buy their product over someone else. So your visual selling point is so important. You could come to this niche and stand out quite easily, as some people are trying to do here with nice packaging. It's given them an attempt at standing out, but I'm sure there are other things you could do to stand out within this niche. So yes, of course, make your product as good as it possibly can be, but your product has more chance of succeeding on Amazon if it visually stands out in some way. Now, I don't just mean make it bright pink because it's going to stand out, but you certainly can consider choices that will help it stand out but still have widespread appeal. Don't make a change for the sake of it just to stand out. Make a change that won't reduce the appeal it has, but will still make you stand out in the search results. So that's the third thing that I see a lot. People have a great product, but nothing to distinguish them in the search results, so they just get overlooked again and again. Now, this next point, hopefully no one will take offense to, but it is something that I see pop up quite often. And is that people are sometimes unwilling to spend what is necessary to actually give themselves a fair crack at having a successful product and business on Amazon. So usually people are happy to part with thousands of pounds to order hundreds or thousands of units from an unknown supplier in China, but they're then unwilling to invest a little bit extra in either maybe the PPC required to fully launch the product, or maybe in the software that will help them run their business in a better way, or maybe even in a decent logo or branding. So there's lots of other areas than just the product. And sometimes people scrimp so much in all of those other areas and they only invest in a product, and it sets them up to fail because they do need those extra bits. They are missing links if you don't have the extra tools to help you with your Amazon FBA business. So for example, with PPC, I see this a lot. People maybe only want to spend £10 a day or £20 a day, which is fine if you're entering a niche where you only need to sell maybe 1 or 2 products per day to get ranked. But often people need to sell between maybe 5 to 10 products a day to have a chance of getting ranked. And to do that, realistically, you're going to be spending maybe £30 to £50, possibly more, depending on the product, depending on the niche, depending on how much competition there is and how much a keyword bid is going to cost you. But they don't really want to do that. And unless they do that consistently for a 2 to 3 week period to give them a good chance of getting ranked, then they're never really going to have a chance of succeeding on Amazon. So sometimes you have to be prepared to spend what is necessary to give your product a good crack on Amazon. Now, there is no set rule for this, but I would say whichever product you're looking to launch, if you use as a very, very rough guide that you'll need to spend maybe between £5 to £10 per sale on PPC in the early days to get your product ranked, that will give you a good guide as what you'll need to spend as a daily budget. So you might decide to go with traditional PPC ads, which you'll see at the top and throughout the listing. Ideally, if you've got your trademark and you can use sponsored video ads, that will set you up really well. We're seeing people having really good success with these with high quality video ads. But you have to be prepared and plan for that. So if you've got a product that you need to sell 5 units per day to give you a chance of getting ranked, budget between £30 to £50 for at least 2 to 3 weeks as a bare minimum. And then hopefully as time goes on, you'll be able to reduce that spend. You'll continue optimizing your PPC, your organic ranks will improve, and everything will start to come together. And to keep a track of that, you obviously need software. A lot of people don't do this. A lot of people come to me with PPC and say, can you help me with PPC? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And usually we get good results tweaking their PPC. But I'll say to them, how are your organic ranks doing? And they have no idea. So make sure you're tracking your organic ranks, which brings me on to kind of the latter part of this point. It's also fork out on the right software. Now, there are lots of options you can use. I'm not going to tell you which one to go for. I'm just going to tell you which one I use. So I use Helium 10. So I use this for product research. I use this for tracking my organic ranks. I use this for my keyword research. I use this for checking whether my keywords are indexed. There's lots of tools to this, and even the free plan. If we scroll down, you can try out most of it yourself. So if you want to try out X-Ray, the Chrome extension, which I've been using, you can use that 50 times per month, completely free. And there's lots of tools here, which you'll find very, very useful. And again, spending either $0, $39, or even $99 a month, which is what most people go for, is a tiny amount to help with your Amazon FBA business when you're dropping £2,000, £3,000, £4,000, even more than that on stock. So definitely invest in the right tools, invest in the right amount of PPC, invest in the best branding and logo possible, and that will give you the best chance of Amazon FBA. So I know it's tempting to cut corners, and I know we're all operating on budgets, but make sure you plan accordingly. And if you are interested in Helium 10, we have the usual code. So we've got FBA Elite 50, which will give you 50% off your first month. So sometimes people will do this just to do their product research, then they'll cancel it and they'll come back a few months later when they're ready to launch their product, create the listing and stuff like that. Or you can use FBA Elite 10 to get 10% off every month. So if you plan on using Helium 10 long term, use that. That will give you 10% off every month for as long as you use it. And if you want a greater discount, just go for the annual plan with either one of those discount codes, and that will give you 25% off the annual plan as well. Now, this final point applies to a lot of sellers that come to me looking for help, and that is that they didn't spend enough time learning about Amazon FBA. And I'm not going to blame the sellers for this. I'm going to blame YouTube for trying to make it sound so simple. So I've just literally gone to YouTube just now and searched for Amazon FBA for beginners. And there's people saying, step-by-step Amazon FBA tutorial in 38 minutes. Now, you might be able to outline the basics of Amazon FBA, but I just watched through a couple of these videos, and they don't tell you how to become an FBA seller. They might say to you, you need product research software like Jungle Scout, or they might tell you that you need to source products on Alibaba, but they don't go into the detail of fully understanding the types of products you should be finding for you, what would make a good fit for you. They don't tell you what makes a good supplier. So you need to do your research. I remember when I started Amazon FBA, I spent hours on YouTube for weeks and weeks and weeks before I dived in. If you want to find out more about this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Obviously, I've got videos in my back catalog covering pretty much all areas of Amazon FBA, so go through there first. If you want more information, you can sign up for completely free at the FBA Elite forums. We've got over 4,000 members on there, and you can also use the search function. There's some really good archived posts on there talking about probably any issue you're likely to come across. On here as well, we also have the resource section. So if you're new to Amazon FBA, check out the Ultimate Amazon FBA Checklist. There's a video that goes alongside. It's a downloadable PDF to ensure you guys stay on track. That is all completely free. And if you're super keen to get going and you've got a good budget, I'll be honest, if you've got a good budget, we do have the FBA Elite course on there as well. Yes, that is $499, so it's not cheap, but that is your fastest way to become a successful Amazon FBA seller, in my opinion. So you can go through that, and there's a link through to the teachable area where you can actually preview the course and go through the full curriculum of all the videos that's included. So hopefully, if you are starting an Amazon FBA business, that will give you guys something to be aware of. If you found this video useful, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. If you want to see more from me, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the forums.